Hey guys, welcome to is a bit of a delayed one. Um, I couldn't record day 7 yesterday. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the last of kind of medication getting out of my system, or if it was my body just basically going, you filled me full of drugs and fuck you, I'm gonna make you feel ill. I was really rough yesterday. Couldn't I was super light sensitive. Any large source of light was just shooting pain straight through my head. Absolute nightmare. So I spent the whole day sat in my room in the dark listening to Critical Role, as you do. So yeah, yesterday was very much a write-off for me. Didn't do much at all. I think in the evening it got a little bit better, so I played some Lego Harry Potter, as you do again. So yeah, I played some Lego Harry Potter and went with that. I today has been so much better. As you can see, I'm so much better. My hair is a disaster, but that's beside the point. I'm alert, I'm awake. I woke up before 9 a.m. all on my own. I didn't feel the need to sleep in today, which is super cool. I've done loads. I've wrapped presents, and I've been researching things for another video, and I've been watching some more Critical Role. I've done some washing, and I've gone over the road and things. I was meant to be going into town to drop off my motherboard. I didn't. I will be honest. I didn't feel up to that today. Just because, the last panic attack I had in town really shook me. I just didn't feel confident going into town this close to Christmas and what is also market day on my own. I just didn't feel that if I did that, it was going to end well. And a situation is made so much worse if you go into it panicking. So I just thought, right, no, if needs be, I will send my motherboard off after Christmas. I will just have to deal with recording everything on Rafe's PC, which I'm sure is not ideal for him. So yeah, I picked up my new medication, which I'm starting tonight. So it's these bad boys, fluoxetine 20 milligrams. So it's a much smaller dose than the sertraline I was put on. And I had a quick word with the pharmacist, and these are mood elevators. So from what I've been reading, it puts a dam almost in the serotonin levels, so they build up in the brain. I don't know. It's very hard to find reliable sources for medication websites. They don't look quite as intimidating as the last ones. They look more like pills. So yeah, we'll see how they play out. The list of side effects, again, is quite long, and this list wasn't so bad. I mean, it was things like 1 in 10 people will experience nausea, and 1 in 100 people will experience, blah blah blah. And so that was, it's one of those things. I'll see what happens. As long as I'm not trying to flay myself with my own fingertips, and I'm pretty happy. But an interesting experience did happen in the pharmacy, which I thought actually I really wanted to hit on. Which was, I was there discussing my medication, and someone, an older lady, overheard me. And of course, at the moment, I stand out quite a lot. Blue hair, piercing, I'm wearing a big N7 frickin' hoodie and things like that. And I was just like, right, yeah. So the other two that I've tried over the course of years, kind of thing, they haven't worked. This last one had very serious side effects that I reacted very badly to it. And she made a very kind of backhanded remark under her breath. I'm not going to say exactly what she said. But yeah, she made a very backhanded remark under her breath. Kind of belittling me. Taking into assumption how I look, the fact that I've I'm talking about antidepressants, which, in all fairness, she shouldn't have been eavesdropping on my bloody conversation anyway. That's just rude. But yeah, she made this assumption that I am, for want of a better term, a waster. I'm someone who is sponging off the benefit system and things like that. She looked at me and made this assumption, and that I was using these kind of antidepressants. And she's like, oh, what do you need those for, assuming that I was using my depression as a way of getting money, which I'm not. I'm not getting anything from the frickin' government for this. I am literally pulling in £0. We are living off Rafe's wage. So, so I very calmly turned to her, because one part of her comment was about how I should be ashamed of talking about this so openly in public. And I totally get it. It's a different generation. I totally get that certain things 50 years ago were very much taboo, and mental health was one of them. It's something that only now is it starting to come into the light that it's more socially acceptable to talk about things like mental health. So I'm not angry at her or anything like that, but very calmly explained that I don't have anything to be ashamed of, and I don't. She does not know my situation. I very calmly explained that to her as well, about how, my mum is epileptic, so I help care for her. I'm living in what is a lounge. It is how the layout of our house goes now is my parents have the big bedroom and the little bedroom that acts as their bedroom and their lounge. There's then a shared bathroom and a shared kitchen, and then we are what was in the lounge. It's not a huge space. We've got the desks in, we've got a table, and we've got the bed and some shelving. That's it. And there's a sofa, which will be home because we literally don't have enough room for it. But we moved back in, partially because of financial reasons, partially because I wanted to help look after my mum. Because she's my mum, I don't get anything for looking after her. I don't get a carer's wage or anything like that. So, I do that because she's my mum, because I love her. So I mentioned that I have always worked. I worked all through my university degree, that I got a master's degree, and that because I've hit a point in my life where I need help getting through it, why should I be ashamed of that? Because I've had some bad things in my life. I've had some experiences that your average person probably wouldn't have to go through. And, eventually it takes its toll. It's just one of those things. We haven't really been settled since we moved down from Sheffield, which was about 3 years ago. We've never found somewhere solid to live or anything like that, just because where we're living is so expensive. And it's a very common thing down where we live that a lot of people aren't able to afford to live on their own unless they're on super high, super stable jobs, which again is really hard to get at the moment. Like, job stability in the UK is not great. So it just got to the point, for me personally, where everything just kind of got on top of each other. And it meant that I needed help. I couldn't cope with it on my own. And I'd much rather ask for that help and try things like the antidepressants and the therapy than leave it to the point that I'm likely to hurt myself or somebody else. And, we had a very civilised conversation about it. I didn't lose my cool, even though she was quite rude. The pharmacist did go to step in, but I told her not to worry. There were people to be served, and they needed her help more than I did, so... But, yeah, it was just so taken aback that someone feels I should be ashamed that I have depression. And it's just like anything else. Depression is an illness. It is caused by kind of a chemical imbalance in the brain. Some people are more prone to it than others. But something isn't working properly, is what it comes down to. And that's what causes depression or anxiety. Something, it just needs a bit of tweaking. And you've got to think that if someone developed a rash or had an allergic reaction to something, they'd go to the doctor for help. They would be put on medication to help them get through. And this is no different. Just because it's something that afflicts the brain, it doesn't make it any more shameful than any other ailment that a human being can suffer with. So I just really wanted to put across that if you are ever made to feel ashamed because you are going through something like this, don't be. Because you're doing the best you can. If you are actively seeking help, if you are trying to get through this, then you have nothing to be ashamed of. We are just human. There isn't a single person who hasn't had a bad day in their life. It's just some people have a whole run of them. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because it just felt... Again, it just felt like something that I am probably not the only person who has encountered it. It's the first time I have encountered it. And like I said, I am chalking it up to the generation gap on that one. But it did just take me by surprise. So yeah, like I said, if you're ever made to feel embarrassed or ashamed about anxiety or depression or, obsessive compulsive disorder or anything like that, you're still human. You are no different from anyone else and you have nothing to be ashamed of. So on that hopefully uplifting note, I will record another one of these either tonight or tomorrow morning after I've taken my medication so we can see what kind of side effects I get from it. Hopefully, on more a positive side, I can cope with if I have a little bit of nausea or if I'm a bit tired or something, but hopefully I won't have anything quite as severe as the last ones. I have been told that if I'm having mid to bad kind of side effects within a few days, to contact the doctor straight away again because I had such a severe reaction to the last lot of medication. But yeah, fingers crossed that won't happen this time, and I hope everyone has an awesome day. Until tomorrow, bye bye.